So this is the commentary for Popsinger, first book from Flash Delirium. It's been about 2 years, I think, since we put this book out, and it's been quite a ride. And I gotta say, I think the end result's pretty good. How do you feel about the cover?
We weren't supposed to originally have a cover. We just had everyone's name on it. And, because it was free and it was digital, so I didn't really see the point in putting a cover, putting all of this money into this, fancy cover when we really wanted to show off the interior pages. But, Halil decided he wanted a cover, and so he did this. It's kind of like a quick cover, if you will.
Yeah, and Halil Matei, he's the artist on this book, and he's a phenomenal artist. He does everything traditional. The cover obviously was done in Photoshop, and he kept it simple. He was the one that encouraged us to put a cover on it. He didn't know that was him. He did it in his free time, and it's pretty cool. It's very effective. It definitely sets up a tone for what the story is going to be. And yeah, that's all I got to say about the cover. I guess we can get into this. So it was four of us all together to create this project. Obviously, it's Chastity Lassiter and myself, Christopher Elston. The pencil and inks by Halil Matei, and the letterer.
I think. Well, I know his first name's Tobin, but I believe last name is pronounced Rasco. I could be wrong.
Yeah. So the thing is, we actually have never talked to these guys face to face because we're all over the place. Obviously, Chastity and I are here in the U.S. in Richmond, Virginia. Halil is actually in Berlin, and Tobin is in Canada. But we found both of them off Facebook, and that's pretty much how we do all our communications through Facebook Messenger and emails. And it all works out. We couldn't have done this book without them. So shout out to them. I wish we could have had them on, but I know Tobin, he's a real busy guy. I don't think he really does a lot of interviews and whatnot. And Halil, I'm not sure how comfortable he is yet, but that could change with him. I think he'll definitely, when we get into the future projects, he's a part of it as well. He may, hop on board. And I know they both will appreciate that we are going over this project that they both were a part of. They did a really great job. So let's get into it. Page 1. Now, a few things about this. As I said earlier, this project is about 2 years old now. We dropped it online a few months ago, but the process, it's been some changes. Originally, this was going to be a colored book back when we first came up with the idea. I think
originally it was going to be a short film.
Yes, originally it was going to be a short film, and I think that was back in 2014, 2015. We had done a little short film prior to all this called Hunt, and that went okay. And our follow up was going to be Popsinger, and that was loosely based off of the whole Illuminati conspiracies and the pop singers and stuff. But when we decided we wanted to just keep go the comic book route and create stories there, we thought this would be a good platform to do Popsinger, kind of like our calling card, just to have something established. Because we've always written, we've written novels, or we got novels in the works, and we've done numerous screenplays, and doing the comic book script writing. Nothing's actually been published, but we do have, the experience behind us just in writing in general. But obviously, with a graphic novel, writing is only but a portion of it. You really need a good artist to, complement that story and just make it better. And fortunately enough, with Halil, I found him off a Facebook group. He was already working on
the stars aligned that day on Facebook.
Yes, it did. Because when we first came up with the idea for Popsinger, we really didn't have an artist in mind. We knew the tone of the book, but we kind of kept that. Again, we kept it open because we didn't want to isolate just one artist and miss out on somebody else. So, we knew we definitely wanted to have like a darker like style and a little more grounded. But getting back to Halil, so I found him on one of the Facebook groups I was in because I'm a part of quite a few of the artists seeking commission groups, and I'm always looking in there for like talent. And he had posted a couple of videos of a project he was working on, and I really thought it was really good stuff. It was I can't remember what it was exactly, but I know it's horror. It was like a horror-esque type book. So I went to his Facebook page, and he had some additional artwork. I was like, wow, this guy's really great. So I reached out to him in Messenger, and he was really excited about working on the project. So I sent him the script, and he was pretty much signed on like the next day. And we went back and forth with changes and like just making the script work the best it could for the platform. And Chastity, she did a really good job with helping edit, and she's really good with dialogue and stuff. And I came in with like some like the pacing and whatnot. And I think the actual finished Popsinger, it took a few months, but between that and getting it out is what took 2 years. And there's just a lot of different things going on, like personal life, and just the pandemic happened, and just really deciding how we wanted to present not only this project but ourselves to the world. But here we are now. This is our first actual published work, and it's on our website. And we'll get into all more of that a little later in this, and we'll have like stuff listed in the comments. But this is the first page, and this is actually when we first commissioned Halil. This was the first thing he gave us to kind of give us, no, not to kind of, but to give us an idea of what he could do with it, and we fell in love. We liked it so much. Yeah, this is definitely going to be the first page, and you're our guy pretty much for this and everything else we do. And as you can see, he just captured everything, like the shadows, the composition. I mean, this is all like in the script. Usually our approach was, if we was to work with artists, we were going to do like some layouts. Cause I have a little bit of art background, and I can when we write things out, we like to do our own little thumbnail storyboards just to get the artist a clear vision, so there's like no gray area. But with Halil, he definitely could just take the script we had. And it was a fairly detailed script. It wasn't overbearingly detailed, but it was enough to get the point across to the reader and the artist. And
it's a little detailed.
Yeah.
But what's amazing about it is that Will was able to get all those details, even with a language barrier.
Yeah. And that, again, like to any writer and creator out there doing comic books, if you're just doing that and you're hiring an artist, if you can find a person who can be in sync with you and can just clearly execute your vision even better than how you originally had it in your head, keep that person as long as you can, because it'll, in the long run, it's very beneficial to everybody.
And also, it makes a big deal that I think Halil cares about the stories that we tell. Yep. I think if it had been some Batman, Superman knockoff, like, he wouldn't have been as on board or gave it as much. I think he really cares about product.
Yeah, we definitely had like similar interests, and that kind of went back to just looking at his page and just seeing the kind of stuff he was working on and stuff he liked, and that helped out a lot. Yeah, hell yeah, he really, we definitely are on the same page with things. And again, it just, when you can find that person who's on the same level as you, and it just works out a heck of a lot better. But again, let's get into this first page. And like I said earlier, the composition is just beautiful layouts, and it pretty much, if you took the caption boxes away, it tells the story fairly well. And I think that's another strong aspect of just doing
also,
these things.
Hand drawn.
Yes, all hand drawn. Yes.
Penciled and inked by hand. Halil's a fine artist, I think. So
yeah, he does everything traditionally. There's no digital work at all right here, and he's really fast too for the amount of details and stuff he puts into these things. He's just such a professional artist, and I really believe that he'll be a guy that when he gets a few more books under his belt, he'll be just as recognizable as like Jim Lee and Tom McFarlane and stuff. And I think we're really fortunate to have him, and he really made this thing. He made it exist. It was always, it was written, but he really took it to that next level it needed to be at. But so there's a few things outside of that. Hopefully you guys have read it or will read it. So I won't get too much of the story aspect of it outside of like the certain like points in it. Like when it was originally supposed to be colored, we had that was the one vision we did have for it. And this is way before Halil came on board and everything in the earlier stages. That since we're gonna go like the whole Popsinger type feel, we wanted more of a neon retro synth feel to it, kind of like how the Nicholas Refn films were, like Neon Demon and Drive, and even like films like the remake of Maniac with Elijah Wood, how they had that very synth retro feel to it, and we thought that would have been a good way to go. And there's certain things in the story and that I think without Halil's artwork, I don't think it would have worked without the color as well as it has with him on board. And one thing,
I think it worked.
Yes.
With you don't think color was necessary?
Yeah, the color wasn't necessary anymore. Yeah. And again, with that, it was a budgetary thing too. Just producing things are not the cheapest in the world, especially when you want a good quality in production. So it was a choice, and again, that's anybody who's done these type of projects, they know, that you got to make some sacrifices and weigh and measure what's the best, procedure for you. But on that note, so if you look at the second panel, you see this doll in the background, and that doll actually has a name. There's a little bit of a backstory. It's called Ferris Fox, and in this universe, that's pretty much their Mickey Mouse type mascot, and it plays a role later on in this story without really him being in it. It's more of a subtle thing, and when we get to that point, I'll come back to that. But again, if it had been in color, what's going to happen would play differently. But Halil still, for what it is, it works. It works for what it is. But anyway, again, the page layout is really good. It tells the story. We kept the dialogue at a minimum because the narrative of this is more about from her point of view, and there's a lot of like flashbacks. So it's not really real time.
It's like a giant flashback.
Yeah, aside from panel 1, page 1, and then towards the end, we will come back to what's going on here. And as you can see, she's older in the first panel. She's looking in the mirror. Something bad has happened, and she's reflecting on her life. And when we jump to panel 2, we go back, and again, the composition worked out because it's almost like a mirror of what's happened before. In the first one, she's looking at herself. She's miserable. She's definitely distraught. And in the second panel, she's young, and she's looking at a pop singer on TV, showing inspiration. We kind of go through the whole process of how she's inspired to one day become a pop singer. Is there anything you want to add, Chaz?
No.
Okay. And that's pretty much it for the first page. And again, this is once we saw this visually, we knew that, this is going to work out pretty good. So going on to page 2, again, Halil has captured what we wanted. I mean, you can clearly see that now she's kind of going through the process. It's like a montage of events. She's in a sound recording studio, and then it kind of evolves to her playing like a local venue, and you see the crowd. And in the last panel, we see where she's starting to blow up. She's getting, recognition and everything. And we tried, another thing with the writing process with us, we try to keep things as simple as possible without overwording stuff. And even in these panels, a lot of that story is told in the visuals. We didn't want to have it be a situation where it's like the visuals are and the dialogue are kind of repeating itself. Like the dialogue should just be enough, to kind of tell what she's feeling, and the visuals will tell the rest of the story.
Right. And so in this page, really what we're telling you in the story, the parts that you have to read that you can't see is that this love of her fans is filling this void where she doesn't have the love of her father, or where her father's not there. So there's no way for me to visually show that and keep it at 18 pages, right? So that's something that has to be said. That's the only is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah. And she mentioned a thing about again, the main character name is Stacey Lynn, about her father. That actually we talk about that a little bit in the next page. And that's one of those things, like, we're actually gonna go to that page right now. We, again, this is like our first book and everything. Overall, I'm very happy with it. But again, I can critique myself as well if we want to get better. And I felt that, yeah, we could have made it longer and went more in depth about, all right, who's her dad and what's her true relationship with her mom. But a couple things with that. Again, it was a budgetary thing. This is an 18-page, story, comic book, page rate wise, and we wanted to kind of keep it moving fast. And we just wanted to be more of like a montage type situation, with a little bit of just enough details and nuances to keep it going. So if that didn't come off as right, a little abrupt, maybe that's a flaw. And that's something we can work on going down the line.
But this script did take, you said 2 years. Yeah, it took 2 years. This is not a first draft. This is like 100th draft.
Yeah, there's would be multiple passes and changing things and sacrificing things and whatnot.
Yeah, and I look back on it, and there's things that I wish we might have done differently on our part, not
right,
not on anyone else's part, just on our part. But that's with anything. Like, I think any creator kind of feels that wish would have done that differently. You have moments you're really proud of, and then moments that you wish you could change, and that's just life. So.
Yeah, correct. And again, everybody has to start somewhere, and you can only get better the more you do it. But on that note, so this page, again, we're still going down the whole process, her evolution into like the big pop singer. And this is another one of those pages that really, I think, says it without being overbearing with it. And again, like her mom in the second panel, you see her mom behind her being proud. Then we get to that old cliche of signing your soul or selling your soul to the devil, where she signs the contract of the agent, and he's looking very menacing in this last panel. And I love that hard shadow Lil placed on him. And it was just enough that, you could tell there's something else going on here. It's not just about them signing her to their label and just, milking her for all her talent till the next one. There's something else a little more going on. I like that. The way I felt about it and the way we wrote it and the way he illustrated it was this very unsubtle, this is something very subtle going on that you really can't place, and it's very uncomfortable.
If you notice here too, the placement of in this panel right here, the triangle symbolism.
Yes, the triangle, that's pretty slick how Halil drew that, And again, just those little nuance type things. And even in the next panel with the hard light, there's a triangle in that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of triangle symbolism.
It's symbolism, composition. That's, again, strong. When you got a strong artist on board, they can take just the little things and amp it up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so that's about it. The next page, which is actually, this is probably one of my favorite pages out of the whole thing. And there's definitely some more cool stuff going forward. But what I liked about this was, okay, so now we're at the point where she's a big deal. And she's doing music videos now. And in this scene, she's working with a director. And again, it's like the little subtle differences. If you notice like her dress code has changed drastically in these few pages. Now it's very skimpy and revealing. And she's not getting it. If you read the dialogue, she's not understanding it. The director is like, oh no, this is great. This is what people want and all that stuff. And the symbolism in it. So if you see like in the background, like the satanic, imagery type stuff, and that kind of goes back to the research we did on the Illuminati as far as these music videos. We've all heard the stories.
The all-seeing eye.
Yeah, the all-seeing eye and the triangle bullshit and stuff in the background. And whether we believe it or not, it is what it is. But it is fascinating. And, and again, the design itself, I can't take credit for that. Halil, this is something he came up with. I think literally in the script. It's been a while since I looked at it. I think we said the satanic imagery in the background. Yeah,
I can't even remember.
I believe it was, but either way, he captured it. And just like the director.
Well, we had sent some pictures along with it.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
Yeah, like some we did some Googling.
Yeah, some still pictures of certain music videos, as pop singers and, just the composition. And you can tell, he really did his homework when he looked at it. But again, this is a beautiful page. I love like the director's cigarette in his mouth and the flame coming off of it. And just like that last panel with the two dancers in the background with the mask on and just the placement of everything, just really, really good. And this is definitely, like I said, one of my favorite pages of the piece. Yeah. All right, moving on. And again, we're continuing with the music video, and we kind of do that transition from the production part to the actual finished product of the kids, of these two girls watching it, and we're seeing her effect on the world right here. I think this is a good this moments without being overbearing. As you can see, there's only like 2 caption boxes on this page of her talking, but the rest of it's just visuals. And I think it works. It just takes you through it without, being too on the nose and redundant. And especially that last panel where we actually see her, managers and stuff looking at her. And we still have that. Now we have like the satanic symbol above her head, like it's almost in like a booth they're looking through her at. I thought that was pretty cool. And again, I think that sets up how there's something else going on that we're kind of like leading to.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next page. So now we're at the point in the story where she's pretty much she's made it. She's up there with the big dogs now. It even says that like in the caption, where she's like hanging out with the elite, like the celebrities, the athletes. And again, all of us is we took this just from the theories and the conspiracy stuff of the whole Illuminati thing. And I mean, the artwork speaks for itself. Yet again, Halil really captured like that whole, we call it the eyes wide shut type scenario. You can see one like there's the one with the mask on, I guess like show the butler. And we're going to like this big isolated mansion. And yeah, she's about to see how the other side really lives. And anyone add to this beautiful piece? This is also another favorite picture of mine for a few reasons. Tobin did a good job of placing the word balloons in this without he knew how to strategically put the placement without taking away from the art. And we had to kind of, again, from the writer side of things, we had to kind of pull back because we knew there's a lot of dialogue in this, but it couldn't be too much. Number one, we didn't want to be too wordy, and also we didn't want to like crowd the page. And we're at that point where this is just enough, I feel. What about you, Chaz?
It's a little much, but we had so much story that we were trying to get on this page because this is like a really pivotal moment of the story. This is like where it's the beginning of the end. So you didn't have to read as much in the previous pages,
right?
But there are a few extra balloons on here, word balloons, because this is where the story starts.
Yeah, and
we could have done with less balloons and had more panels and stretched it out over a couple pages. But like I said, like we were trying 18 pages because we paid everybody a full page rate, their rates. So, this is like an expensive calling card, and we just couldn't afford to like make this like a huge book because we're giving it away.
That is true.
Yeah.
And But another thing about the dialogue on this page is really just about Stacy interacting with, this actress here and the small talk. Like, we how they, we have this is what we imagine, if this was, a real situation, what they would do. Just talk about like, future projects and all, things like that. The last panel is this lady, if you look, approaching the group, and this is actually Mercy. She's the pop singer that Stacey Lynn looked up to, and she was. And if you go back to page 1, panel 1, when she was the little girl looking at the dancer, that's who this is. And a little did a good job, I think, by showing her. You can tell she's already a little intoxicated and he just did the little nuances, like the glass in her hand, how her top is slightly pulled to the side. To me, I mean, that's what I saw when I looked at it. But yeah, overall, again, like maybe the word balloons were a little much. Maybe we could have trimmed a little here and there. But again, like, you guys tell me, we would love to hear some feedback on what you guys thought of this piece. But going on to the next page, again, we're continuing with the dialogue and this little character interaction. And the thing about this is when, if you really read what Mercy's telling Stacy, she's warning her. She's pretty much telling her, like, this is where she was at. And for whatever reason, she just backed out. But instead of her just giving in, she just became, this kind of washed up has-been. And that's all Stacy's seeing, that her idol is just a washed up has-been. Even her manager's kind of, brushing off as such. But clearly there's something more going on. But anybody in the situation will see it the same way, that she's just, she's jealous of her and they're going to use her up like they did her. But we'll find out later that that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. I mean, once again, you don't have to read a lot of word balloons throughout this book. So I feel that we're excused in going on a little extra on these couple pages, because the beginning of the book and the end of the book, there's not that much to read, because everything is just it's told visually. And so for the little things on, trying to fit it into 18 pages, I feel like we're excused on that.
Yeah.
That's just my personal feeling, like, because you don't have to read so much in the beginning and you don't have to read much at the end. You can read a little more in the middle.
I agree with that. And really, looking at it again right now, it's been a while to actually sit down and looked at it. The most dialogue was on these 2 pages, and pretty much after that, we kind of go back to the minimal stuff.
Yeah.
But moving on. But again, like, great page. It speaks for itself. So this next page, a couple things about it. Again, this is another one of my favorite pages. That second panel is just so strong, powerful. But story-wise, we can tell that now she's starting to really mingle in with the group. She's going down that path, alcohol, drugs. Even in this panel down here, she's between this couple. It seemed like, they're getting a little kinky with her. And even she's walking off with him, and the manager's very happy about this. And the way when we did this, what we were wanting to show was her descent into debauchery, like she's giving in, and from their point of view, this is all to condition her for a different purpose. But Halil killed it again. I just can't, stress enough that second panel is just so well done. Like that wine glass, man. Like I just love the way this picture looks. But what do you think, Chas? Anything you want to add?
So, we do have another project that we've been working on for like 10 years. And Halil has also done the work for that, and even though we haven't released it yet, on this book we had said that initially we thought we were going to get it colored, and then after seeing Halil's work, and then after looking at our budget, we were thinking we could do so much more if we just left it black and white, because Halil's work is just, it's so good on its own. But looking at this one and looking at the book that'll be coming out later. Looking at those pages, with this, he thought it was going to be colored, and you can see that there are some spaces he left open for color. But I think that's only really visible because I've seen what his work looks like when he knows it's going to be black and white.
Yeah, he definitely gave us options. You know, he's just, again, he's one of those guys. He can switch it up. You know, he can design it for color. He can design it for black and white. He also can design it where it can go either way. And I think that's one good thing about this. This page kind of shows that you can go either way with this one.
Yeah.
You know, color, no color. You know, so I thought he did a really good job of just setting it all up. Mm-hmm. So we're going on to the next page now. Okay. Few things about this page, and this goes back to what I was saying on page 1, panel 2 of the Ferris Fox thing. Now, if you look, when we originally wrote this script, you know, before we had an artist and everything, the way this was going to play out when we thought we were going to color it was, since she had already, you know, been intoxicated, done the drugs, as they're taking her down these different hallways, we were going to try to show her how she was becoming high and everything, and things starting to become distorted. So each panel is supposed to get more distorted till we got to where their destination. When Khalil came along, you know, when we decided we weren't going to do that, he still was able to capture that without doing the distortions. And he did a lot of cool, just like camera. I say they're camera angles. Like, he did a lot of the Dutch angles and stuff, and like, just, you know, the hard shadows is really, really cool. But if it had been in color, it'd have been like this red, like, staticky tint to it. And if you ever seen the film by Gaspar Noé, Irreversible, the infamous scene where Monica Bellucci goes into the underpass, you know, those reds and everything, it was going to kind of play off more of that. But as you can see,
you know, he used the same reds in that dance movie.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Great movie, Climax. Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, he's definitely one of my favorite directors. Yeah, he makes very controversial films, but the visuals, there's just no denying his skill for that.
It just makes you like, wait, am I tripping?
Yeah, I mean, getting a little bit off subject, even with the teaser trailer we made for Popsinger, this on YouTube. I think it's even on the Instagram page. The chassis cut together. We were kind of going for that whole Enter the Void opening sequence, another film of his, where all this crazy fonts and just rapidness. We just thought that was a cool. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that. And he's used it in a few different things, but we thought that was a good way to show the Popsinger trailer. But getting back to this page, so this last panel where they about to go into this chamber of weird orgy shit going on. Again, like, just playing up that whole Eyes Wide Shut, Illuminati, satanic stuff. You can see the gentleman with this fox mask on. Now, that's supposed to be a representation of the Ferris Fox character in the first panel. But the first page, second panel. Now, if this had been colored, I know it said it had this red tint. We still had color kind of seeping through underneath. It'd have been the same, the mask would have been the same color scheme as the Ferris character, so people would know. But the whole reason behind that is so, like, you know, the conspiracy stuff, a lot of people have, like, talked about Disney a lot, like they're behind some weird stuff. So I really thought that was fascinating. So with this, it's supposed to represent innocent loss for Stacy. Like, she had that doll, you know, with her as a child. Now she's looking at this pretty much same figure leading her into corruption, into, you know, the point of no return. So it's kind of like our way of symbolizing innocent lost. Yeah. You know, and like how certain things from your childhood are ruined once you get older and really realize what it is. So that's what that was supposed to do, you know. And again, like, if it didn't play off that way, now you guys know, you know, and I hope you guys think that was kind of cool. We thought it was cool. And it was kind of like a fun, like, little thing. And, you know, you never know, Ferris might pop up in other things. But, so yeah, but again, powerful piece, you know, no dialogue, all just actions. And I just think, you know, the dynamic of it and just really great. Came out really good. which leads us to this page. This is actually, I think it's the number one. It's on the Instagram, I believe.
Yeah.
But again, no.
But like also with this, like just to point out, like the if you ever watch any of the videos about the Freemason thing, the thing about the black and white checkered floor apparently is like a lot of conspiracy theorists people think that like the black and white checkered floor is like, I don't know, there's something satanic about it when you see it. It's connected. I can't even remember. I watched so many of these videos, but that's the floor. It's the black and white.
And again, it's one of the things. It's over interpretation. I'm pretty sure if people looked at it, they could see things we didn't even think about.
I didn't even notice those skulls back there at first.
Yeah.
See, it looks like a wall of skulls on that.
Yeah, I mean that detail in that last panel. But again, the setup of this is really nice. And he did, again, it's no dialogue. It's all about just the visuals. It's clear what's going on. You got your first panel. You got Stacy. The reaction of her face, and you got the two behind her, they know it's about to go down, and they're prepared. They're happy about this. Then we see in the second panel them getting lead into the room with that damn fox guy just looking. Then here you go, and it's all this. It's a very well put together scene, the composition, the renderings of the people, and as graphic as it is, it's not. It's not, it's not too much. I don't think it's just enough.
I have seen much worse.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This could have really been insane, But
at the same time, when I personally don't like to read anything that's borderline disgusting.
Yeah, because she's a prude, but yeah, she writes. No, I'm making a joke out of this. She herself can write some of the most jacked up, horrifying things. It's funny. It's interesting. She's like a wolf in sheep's clothing sometimes. But anyway, again, we are. If we have to label ourselves, we like everything, but we definitely tend more towards the outlaw comics. Like the Faust and the martial laws and Crow,
you remember
that stuff.
That Puppet Master book.
Yeah,
I was reading
mm-hmm.
how the dog was on the light.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that was gross.
But it's but it had long as it had
nothing like that.
Yeah, but again, anything can work if it has substance to it.
Yeah.
But this is a great piece, and I think it really tells what's going on without being too overbearing. There's nothing wrong with that either. Again, this is all interpretation, and Halil, I've never think we let him run with it, and it came out very great. This could almost be a fucking painting or a poster or something.
It should be a painting.
Yeah, I can see it's been in an S&M club or something, but really cool stuff. But going on to the next page. So we're the next day now.
Now she's completely nude. Now we finally see.
Yes, she's nude. She's kind of again, trying to she's washing herself. She feels filthy about what she did. And then the next few panels is literally her kind of taking it all in. And it shows, or what we were trying to show, was how her impact on everybody and how what she's done is like a trade-off. The pride, she's got all success, all this fame, people love her, the kids look up to her, but the horrible thing she had to do to get there. In the last panel, it's kind of like her just breaking down. She just she gave in, and it's all by design. This was supposed to happen to her, as far as the organization that's using her. But anything you want to add?
No.
But again, powerful piece. I think it's very minimal, but it does what it's supposed to do. Getting towards the end now, the Switzerland thing. There's a reason we picked Switzerland to be this big concert she's about to have. So
okay, because of that conspiracy, I don't know how to say it. Because I'm not very well versed, but I believe it would be Gothard. I don't know. I'm gonna fuck it up either way. But that Swiss Alps tunnel that they opened a few years ago, that all these important people showed up to the opening of this tunnel, and like it was like all the stuff with the goat, and if you watch the videos, there was like a lot of satanic imagery. The stuff with the goat, the woman in red. It was like a lot of revelations, and like the weird naked lady with the angel face.
Yeah, it was out there.
It was so much. If you haven't seen it, you should go look at it, because I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was so theatrical, but yet they were being serious about it.
Yeah, and like the entire and so anyways, the conspiracy was at that time there were a few of them, but most of the ones I watched on this tunnel opening, because if you watch it, it's kind of like, what the fuck? But most of them believed that it wasn't like a ceremony for the opening of this tunnel. It was a ceremony to open this portal to hell, which is why they were giving all these satanic performances. Like you just have to see it. Like it is kind of like, no matter how you feel about it, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd be scared to go to a performance like that personally. But anyways, let's go Switzerland. It's spelled Gotthard, I think. It's a Swiss Alp tunnel.
Yeah, it's a quick Google search of that. I'm pretty sure you guys will find it.
Yeah.
But so that's why we picked this place. But also because this is the big concert, and this is where shit's gonna go down as far as like the final phase of her can I say ascension or transcending into the next level.
You can say whatever you want.
But yeah, so again, beautiful wide shot that Halil masterfully illustrated with the lights and all that. Then we cut to like the inside of this thing, like, you know, so this is a big spectacle. You know, we went all out with like this the imagery, upside down crosses and you know, smoke effect and all that shit. And then we see Stacy, who's looking very just demented and dark. And, you know, and this is supposed to show how she's just giving into everything. And even in the dialogue, it says that.
Carnal.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
And, you know, she's loving it and stuff. And then we see all these hooded figures approaching her with somebody in the middle. So, next page, she's handed like this, you know, weird looking dagger, and it's revealed that the person that bringing her is her mom for sacrifice. Now, again, this is the reason behind this was just listening to all the conspiracy theories and just the weird, you know, just the rumors we've all heard about this stuff. The Illuminati is that, you know, a celebrity has to sacrifice a loved one or a family member to be a part of this elite group for whatever reason. And we just kind of ran with that. And so clearly, you know, Stacey's almost like in a trance at this point, where she does it. She kills her mom. And originally when we did this, I didn't have her say mom. It was just all visuals. But when I looked at it, Chaz and I said, you know what, we need to have her say mom, because some people may not
remember her from the previous pages.
And then it's like just some random person. And we just felt that was just needed, you know. So if people say, well, why? We already knew that was your mom, you know. That's why. But, you know, so she does the deed. And again, Halil illustrated that very well. And going to the next page. So the manager, he pretty much reveals the plan. And the portal is about to open. And again, this is probably by far, you know, the most badass page in the whole thing. And her mom literally becomes the portal to hell. And we were thinking, you know, when Chaz and I wrote it, we were thinking about kind of like a body horror type situation, like, you know, the Thing and Cronenberg films and stuff. What we didn't really think about when we looked at it, you know what, this reminds us of that scene in VHS 2, the 1 second about the cult, how like they resurrected that fucking Minotaur looking thing that came out the pregnant woman, which was a cool scene, by the way.
That was so gross.
And it's very similar to that, you know, but this is took it to the nth level. And this kaiju fucking demon thing comes out.
No, that's not what that is. That thing is a face hugger. a hooved.
Torso.
How do you say that?
Yeah, torso, mouth.
Hooved. It's got hooves. How do you say it?
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, close enough. It's got horns and stuff. But again, Hello kind of ran with it. Like it was a very vague description that we had in the script for. And again, because it's another thing about when you work with artists is, yeah, you want to have like a clear vision. Stick with what you want the story to go, but you want to get an artist some room to play with things too. And he clearly just had a lot of fucking fun creating this monstrosity.
And if you remember, like the circle with the eye that's been present throughout all that, like that's clearly laid out on the ground, as you can see the blood pooling into the circles, and then this creature has the one eye.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's Hello.
That's all him. I can't like this is just such a badass piece. This could be a tattoo or anything. It's just really, really cool. And well, getting back to the story, then we can see where all the hooded figure, they're starting to mutate into monsters and shit, like her agent and stuff. And she's like, oh shit. I love the inset he put in there of her picking up keeping the dagger, and she runs off. That was cool that he put that in there. I haven't read the script in a while. I can't remember if I even wrote that part, but he did it. So moving on. So now she's hiding in the bathroom, and we're right back where we began. And another cool thing is, look at that. Notice that floor. That checkerboard floor again.
That Masonic temple floor.
Yeah, and we're back. So now we're in real time again. We're back where the story started at. So this is one of those things where, okay, we're at the at the end of the story, and you could say it's abrupt because she literally figures out she's the key, so she kills herself. And people could say, well, damn, that was I wish there was a little bit more of a build up to that. And it really came down to this budget. We were kind of running out of pages. We couldn't keep this thing going because we just didn't really have the money to do all this extra stuff. And it seemed like, I think it came across all right. I think you get it. I mean, if she's the one that they needed to start all this, then she would be, the beginning and the ending to this, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what happened. And clearly, like, it worked because, her agent / demon guy said no. So, and, the visuals are really cool. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't think it happened too fast. I think it's good. I think that if you would have carried that out over a few pages, I personally feel like that would have been boring.
Yeah.
Because that's what would happen, right? If you were gonna do that, you would want to hurry up and close that shit. So you would do it quickly, and I think bam bam, that's kind of like real time.
Right.
Yeah.
Clear as a hell on earth type situation. And this could have been, realistically, yeah, this could have been like 120 some page graphic novel where we could have explored a hell of a lot more things in it. But, it wasn't designed to be that way. It was designed to be a quick little read to showcase, our writing and the artwork and the kind of, really just the quality in the kind of books we want to put out. We want to put out something a little darker, a little more alternative, but still give you like a nice quality and whatnot. And that's, really what this was all supposed to do. And I think it did the job. The people do have, because again, the Popsinger, it's been out for about a month and a half on our website. And it actually has got more traction on Instagram, which is cool. Whatever way, if that's what it takes to get it seen, that works. But, the people that have seen it, they liked it, and I'm pretty sure, later on down the line, when we get the other project out, if people really like that and they kind of go back to see what we've done, boom, there's Popsinger. And that's kind of what we wanted in the first place. But let's finish this up. So now she's done that, and it's apparently working where the demons are starting to, burn up. The big guy's going back into the portal. The place is on fire, burning up. And we ended on this last scene of her dying with that awesome perspective of the dagger. Again, just really, really just powerful stuff. Like, no dialogue. when there's no need for dialogue. You know, she said what she had to say. She's gone. It's just all about the visuals and just telling a story. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I think it's important to note that there was like a lot of weird shit going on with like really sad like shootings and stuff like that happening at concerts and stuff. And I remember reading, you know, I love conspiracy theories, so I remember reading about a lot of them saying that it was like sacrifices, like these were, you know, whoever was holding the concert, that they were making sacrifices and people were making it look like an accident. And that's where this kind of came from. Like, the audience was supposed to be a sacrifice anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So that takes us to the last page. Again, no dialogue, and what you just said is kind of is what we showed. You know, showed the news, but you know, it looks like it just some freak accident happened. Then I feel like these next few panels, it shows the time jump clearly. You know what I'm saying? People are mourning her death, and she's kind of became like a martyr a little bit.
Martyr.
Yes. And then we ended exactly where we began at. You know, now we got a new girl, and she's looking at the video of Stacey Lynn. She got a poster. Look at that damn Ferris Fox there looking at us, which I thought that was cool. And I can't even remember if I wrote that part in there about the damn Fox looking at us, or if he was even in the page.
I think he was in the panel, but I think Khalil is the one that chose to make him look out the window like a fucking creep.
Yeah, and it's like the whole, and it breaks the fourth wall too, without, you know, being overbearing with it. But again, I thought that was just a really cool way to end it. And that's Popsinger, you know, and so a few things about this is we want to do more. We want to, you know, talk more, have you guys be more aware of what we're doing, and just, you know, stay, you know, active on our social media platforms. We felt that, you know, doing the commentary for Popsinger was a good way for people to just kind of hear us, how we our approach to things, and maybe even get a better understanding of the book, or hell, maybe even if you didn't read it, now you'll just check it out and want to follow us in future adventures. But it was always, you know, the whole purpose of Popsinger was, again, just to show you guys, and it's free. It's on our website, www.flashdeliriumllc.com. It's pretty much on Instagram. You know, most of the pages on there. And just check it out. And there's a lot more that's going to happen. Now, as far as the next project, we're not going to talk about too much about it right now because we're still getting a few things in order. But by the time you guys read this, or I'm sorry, when you guys hear about this should be like the second week of July when this is up on YouTube and whatnot. So you can, like, you know, check it out. But there's a plan. There's a plan with everything with this company we're doing. You know, we don't. It is a company, but we don't like to refer to it as a company. We like to refer to it as just a universe, because the next story is going to open up a lot of things, and Popsinger is a part of that universe now. You know, and there's the big Easter egg is if you go to the website, there's a part that says news, and we started, and we got to, you know, we're going to plan on continue doing this, is where there's fake news articles that kind of take place in this universe. Right. And the first one is about the you know, tragic loss of Stacey Lynn. But if you look on the sides, there's other little things going on too. You know, and that kind of sets up things going forward. And it's also a good way for us to world build without world building in the book, because that can be a little overbearing too. We just start dropping all these terms and stuff in the story. So we try to do things a little subtle, a little bit of Easter eggs. I'm a big Easter egg fan, so you will see a lot of Easter egg stuff on pretty much everything we do.
I mean, we've got these booklets. We got 100 of these booklets printed, and that's probably the only time we foresee at this time Popsinger being in any way in printed form.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not all of it. It's just like the money shots. And we have 100 of those booklets, all hand numbered and signed. And, it's kind of like a preview of Popsinger. And there's some other stuff in there too that we're not going to get into at this second. But those we will be handing out for free here soon. I guess we haven't really nailed down exactly the plan, but so Virginia, obviously where we are, Maryland, Tennessee, South Carolina, California, will be sending these out to certain places.
It'll be local to the States. Unfortunately, we can't do it overseas yet, but they will be all over here in the U.S. But this is the other thing with that. We want everything to count. Because, again, we're so small. And nobody knows who we are. There's a million comic creators out there. Who are we? It was never like small part of this thing. But, we want everything to count. And we really just want people to read the stories, and follow us and see where it goes. So we want to make everything count. That's why these little booklets, they're not just little booklets we're handing away for free. They're numbered. Like you said, they're all going to be numbered individually. They're all signed by us. But this is the other thing. If you're one of the people that has one, hold on to it. Because what we're going to do, and again, this will all be listed. You guys have plenty of time to, be caught up on all this stuff. Is we're going to announce a date on it'll be on Facebook and Instagram, definitely Instagram. That we plan on using that more than anything else, and YouTube. We're going to have a date where we're going to say, all right, well, if you have one of the books, like tag us on your social media or email us. We'll get the email in there too. And we need to see a picture of the book because that's why they're numbered. When we see your number and everything, we're going to reach out to you individually, privately, in your inboxes and get your information. And we're going to send you something extra for having that book.
For free.
And for free. There's no cost to you. Yeah. But we'll pay for the shipping and all that stuff. And I don't want to say what it's going to be, but it does play into the next book. Because again, we want people to read and be aware and, and have something you can follow. And this be a new thing. Everybody can start from the ground up. It's nothing you got to go back 10 years and collect all these books and do research. Brand new thing, brand new world, and hopefully a character you guys will really dig.
And it's an ongoing story too. There's a definitive beginning and ending, and it's not going to be like 40 years of Batman or
right. Yeah,
I keep saying Batman. I love Batman. I don't have anything against the guy. But what I mean is like we're not gonna like recreate these characters in like another place. No, we're telling the story. There's a beginning, there's an ending, and it's gonna take a few years to get there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know exactly. We've already got it planned out. We know exactly where we're going with it. It's a story.
And also we tell you all this, and again, I know you're like, what the hell's the damn book about? Trust me, just be patient. Within this month, all will be revealed.
It's been 10 years in making.
Yeah, but
literally. So
this is all funded by ourselves. There's no Kickstarter. It's not like anything that we're setting up. You got to, have a campaign for. When the book comes out, the book is out. We're going to take pre-orders. We're going to set everything up. There's a limited number of copies we're making of the book. We've already 2 issues in. They're complete. So we're good to go. Hopefully, you guys like it and keep the thing going. But a few other things about this. There will just keep following us on these social media platforms because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff we're going to drop leading up to this release of this thing. You never know what you might see or what we might do. That's one thing we kind of take pride in. We want to try new stuff, because what's the point if it's already been done? We want to try new things out, and keep things fun and exciting. But we will promise you guys one thing with anything we put out. I like variants. I get why people do them, but
we're collectors.
Yeah, we're collectors. Yeah. That's another thing. We are comic book collectors. We, every week, we collect books. I read Boom. I read Marvel, DC. I'm not biased. I like everything. I like the independent stuff. Heck, I got a lot of friends who are doing Kickstarter and stuff. We back those guys, but we are comic book fans. But I just don't want to do the variants because I'm a completist and I know how stressful and financially devastating that can be to try to collect all these insane things. Because some of these books get, some of those variants are out there.
Yeah.
You started getting like the 1 in 100 and stuff, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But no, we just want is one book. The only thing we may do, and again, this is all.
It's a very limited print.
Yes. This is all, theoretically speaking. If the thing does well enough, we sell out and we go into second and third prints. Yeah, well, it still won't be a variant. It'll be like the Bone books back in the day. Like, it's like second printing, that kind of thing. But I won't get too far ahead of ourselves. The point is, we are setting out to do two things with this stuff. We want to tell the stories. We just want to, get the books out there to sell to tell the stories. That's it. There's no hidden agenda whatsoever. But that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
We really hope you guys, thank you, first of all, whoever's listening, or whoever will listen. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. Because again, I know there's a million of us out here and everybody's, got their projects. So, and there's so much content now that no matter how good it is, within minutes, it gets buried by other stuff because it's so much. So if you even remember anything that we've done, that's awesome. And we're going to, we're going to make sure we reward everybody who follows us and who gets any of our stuff. But again, hopefully by the time you guys read this, we will have more stuff dropping. But thanks again for listening to us.
Thanks.